Hello everybody and welcome back to another day here at Reachin Reverie. Today we are going to give you guys a coop and run tour for our brand new chicken coop that we finished building today. The wind is atrocious today, so let's hope it calms down for a minute for this tour. Now this coop, even though it's going to be used for chickens temporarily, doesn't mean that it's going to be obsolete anytime soon. We do have plans to recycle this coop into other animal enclosures in the future when we're no longer housing chickens in it. We are thinking that potentially down the road this can be something where we can cycle different types of meat animals, so potentially have quail in there or turkeys or even meat chickens, and then have our layers rotationally grazing with the goats. So you can see how close we are going to be to the house. We have the RV and our shop right here, which means in the mornings when it's still dark outside, I can easily walk right down the drive and up to our chicken coop and run. I'm trying to block some of that wind. Now, what's really funny, Josh and I have been joking, we've not been very enthusiastic about this build because these girls are not producing, and so putting a lot of time and energy into something that's not really giving back besides their beautiful presence and great personalities, it's been really hard to focus on getting this project knocked out. And so this coop and run build was almost a 30-day build, and if y'all have been following along with our videos, our shop was also a 30-day build, so it took us almost as long to build this coop and run as it did to build our shop that we're living in full time. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. We really just threw together this coop. We thought it was going to be a couple hours project. It took us a lot longer than we thought it would, but I think a lot of that was enthusiasm for the project. After getting that shop built and thrown together and moving in, we really were hoping for a slowdown and a time of rest, and so getting this put together, we managed to get it done. So all in all, the run is a 6-foot wide by 8-foot long chicken run, which is their outdoor portion of their home. This is where they're gonna live while I'm away at work or if we're off the property. If we're home and out doing things on the property, we will likely free range the girls so that they can have plenty more area to explore and live their best life. But this is going to ensure that they don't get picked off by raccoons, foxes, coyotes, hawks, as we have all of the above abundant everywhere around us. I mean, every single morning as I drive off the property, I see foxes running across the road. We have had coyote sightings in the driveway. We have wild hogs literally coming up right up here next to the coop. So I mean, there's a game trail. And I mean, it's not something we could have avoided by putting the coop anywhere else on the property because they're everywhere. But there's a game trail right here, right out the back door of the coop. And you can see all of the animal footprints. These are deer and hogs running through here and foxes and things. So back to the tour. So we wanted to build something that was going to protect our girls while we're away from the property. With the run being a 8x6, their coop in the back is a 3-foot by 3-foot by 4-foot coop. We wanted it to be large enough for our 3 girls to be able to sleep in at night, and then we wanted it to be tall enough that any draft or breeze can go overhead so that they don't catch a cold. You want ventilation in chicken coops to be high enough above their heads that they're not having air blowing on their faces when it's really cold outside. And Josh was so sweet. This was not part of the plan, I don't think. At least I wasn't aware, but he did sprinkle some of our driveway base rock and gravel up to the chicken coop so that I wouldn't have to walk in the mud. So sweet. Now, what we did is we tried to use as much repurposed material as possible in throwing this together. We wanted this to be a low budget chicken coop. So we did buy these cattle panels, which are 16 feet long, and we just have those arched over, and that is the main structure of this chicken run. We also used extra OSB from our shop build for portions of this. We have repurposed metal roofing that we have on the sides, which is going to be a little bit of shade and a windbreak from the girls, as well as a block of sight from any predators who may be walking by. They won't like see chickens walking around in here unless they come right up to it. One thing that we were mindful of in using OSB is that OSB is like a wooden board that has pulverized or shredded pieces of wood that are all essentially glued together. So when water gets into it, it does swell up. We made sure to paint this, prime it, and then come back over with extra coatings of porch and floor paint, which is an exterior paint that is durable and can handle like wear and tear to help protect this wood from expanding and warping over time. We also used treated wood for any of the wood that's exposed to the ground and things like our framing, because we do have an abundance of little termite friends who live in the area, and we didn't want termites eating this as soon as we got it built. On this door, I wanted something that I could see into and see the girls as I approached this coop, but we also wanted it to be structurally sound. So we do have OSB on the top and the bottom to help shore up this door. And then in the middle, we have cattle panel and a hardware cloth as the see-through part of the door. The cattle panel is adding structure, and the hardware cloth is protection from predators. We have two locks on this door. Essentially, I do need to get some kind of clip to help hold this locked closed. But at the bottom, we also have one of these types of hook locks where it's actually spring-loaded, and you have to pull back the clasp so that you can lift it up. So that may give the raccoons some pause. I know raccoons are pretty wily and they can open carabiners, so they may be able to figure this one out. But between having this one, a second lock, and having the door be slightly low hung at the bottom to where you actually have to lift up on the door to pull it out, we thought this would be good protection against the raccoons. So let's go inside and check it out. I did put some blocking in here to help keep me out of the mud when I'm letting the girls out if it rains in here. And this is what the inside looks like. And Josh was so sweet, and he made the door framing out to my exact height to where I don't even have to duck when I go in or out of the coop. Looking at the roofing, he does have it capped off so water won't get down inside. And then we have hardware cloth going all the way down to where the cattle panel meets the roof. And the only gap underneath this 2x4 is just enough to let water run down the roof. Hopefully nothing will be able to crawl under that little gap. We have all of our holes covered with hardware cloth as well. Now looking at this door, have it in these channels so that it won't fall off. And what's really neat about this door locking mechanism is we actually have a dowel rod as our door stop. It holds the door open and it locks the door closed at night by simply pushing the dowel through the holes that we have here. But that is going to keep anything from trying to open the door and crawling in if they do manage to get in this run at night. So it locks it to where you can't lift up the door, and then all we have to do in the morning is pop the dowel rod out. We're going to lift up the door. and then it holds it open in the daytime for the girls. Now this as a lock for the girls at night is just an abundance of caution. That is to say, if anything is able to chew through the hardware cloth, dig in, open the door, then a dowel rod is the least of our concerns. If they can get through that, maybe they deserve to eat 3 chickens. So that is the run. Now moving along to the chicken coop, y'all saw how it opens for the girls to go in and out of their coop. And this is where I am going to open up to clean the coop and maybe check for eggs, which with these ladies being really old and geriatric, I might get like 1 egg a month from these girls. So I will still be checking for eggs as I'm hopeful, but this is where we're gonna do it. We have this door that closes with a hasp, and it has a spring-loaded carabiner. This one's not broken in yet like my old ones were at my old coop. Okay, so it has a spring-loaded carabiner at the top, which we just pull. It's almost Alex proof. Hold on. I used to have these at my old coop and they were so broken in and easy to use. This one is brand new, which is good. I'd rather it be harder to use. Ta-da! And whenever we're ready to open this thing, just pull it. And this is where the girls get to sleep at night. We have pine shavings down, all ready to go for them, but the flooring is OSB with our porch and floor paint. So it's super durable, and they have just 1 roost, which is just enough for the 3 girls that we have currently. If we wanted to, we could add more roosts in here across these 2x2s that we have. So there is potential for increasing capacity in this coop in the future. And then you can see their ventilation all around all sides at the top. That's how we have it vented. Now you may have noticed I didn't even bother to build any nesting boxes because these girls are really not even laying enough to bother with it. At the other house, when they did lay, they didn't use the nesting boxes anyway. They would just lay their eggs in the bottom of the coop. So I will be going through and checking for eggs periodically, but I'm not too optimistic because these girls are entering their golden years and retirement. Another layer of protection for these girls is that we did add a underground wire skirting around this coop to help prevent anything from getting the idea to dig under the coop. I'm going to show you guys a picture here. And what we did is Josh used his tractor and he dug out 3 feet from the coop and probably about 4 to 6 inches deep. And we laid down wire netting so that if anything does dig through and they try to dig under the coop, they hit that wire and then they're like, well, darn, can't get in here, and then hopefully they give up. So that is all around the coop. We also have this added layer of protection by actually burying right up next to the coop. I buried these bricks, and these are 16 inches long, 8 inches wide, and then about 2 1/4 inches thick. So if something tries to dig, the first thing that they're gonna see is these blocks that we have. You can see where they are here. And then if they come out and try to dig further, they're gonna hit wiring. So hopefully nothing's gonna try to dig their way into the coop. Josh and I think we did pretty good for a throw together coop for our retired girls. The only predator that I think stands a chance against this thing are black bears. We haven't seen them yet, and so that's the hope, is that we will continue to not see those. We do have black bear in the area, mountain lions, bobcats, but the ones that we regularly encounter and think there may be a problem with are the raccoons, the foxes, and the coyotes. And with that, my friends, I think it's time to go bring our girls to their new home. So I am on my way to go pick up the girls now. I have had them being pet sat by my dear friend Jean, and ironically, she lives in the house that I used to live in at the time that I got the girls. So it wasn't too big of an adjustment for them, because they were essentially moving back into the home that they knew and grew up in. So that was kind of cool that they got to go to our little almost like a spa, like an oasis full of nice vegetation and spots to hide and full of shade plants and water all over the place, because that yard has irrigation under all of the trees that drip, and so they get like what they think is like spring water. Well, we made it back home a little bit later than I wanted to. I wanted to have some daylight for the girls, but my friend wanted to give me a tour of the house, which was recently reconfigured, and it looks completely different than when I lived there, and it looks amazing. So now we're home, and Josh gave the girls a really sweet welcome home sign. And we're gonna get these girls into their new home and be sure to make sure they make it into the coop tonight. Now I do have water ready for them. I'm not going to feed them tonight. We don't want to attract any predators, since they're probably going to be too stressed to eat right now anyway. We'll let them get settled in. They've had all day to eat at the other house. And then tomorrow morning we'll sprinkle out some food for them. Hey girls! And these are the three girls. We've got Odette, Yasha, and Myrtle. You're already checking it out. Oh, I don't know this house. I don't know about that. What's in there, girls? So we'll let them get settled in, and I will come back out, or I'll probably sit out here and watch them, but once it begins to get dark, we'll make sure that they make it into the coop. We'll shut the girls up for the night so that they know that that is where they go to bed at night, and we'll come check on them again in the morning. Well, that is it, my friends, for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed our new coop and run tour. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with the greatest and latest everything that's going on here at Reachin Reverie. No, she wants to hop on my shoulder. So Josh is gonna open the back door to let some light in so that the girls can see in there, since it looks like they want to go in, but it's too dark for them to see. So he's gonna bring some light in so that they can kind of see to go up in there what they're doing. And look at that, worked right away for Miss Myrtle and Odette and Yasha. Just to give them a little light to see by. Good girls. Myrtle already hopped up on the roost. Odette's not so sure. She's molting, and typically when chickens molt, they're a little bit less confident and a little bit more flighty. Good girls. Odette just got up on a roost. And it looks like Yasha's down here. Yasha might be sitting under the roost tonight. There she goes. She'll go back in. She's just complaining about it. Yeah, I think Yasha's gonna sit right there. She's bedded down. All right, girls, I'm gonna go ahead and close them up. Good night, girls.